Good afternoon, Skywarden Spartans. This is Connor Keeley here with Mr. Evans. In today's video, we're going to be on February the 10th of 2023. We're going to be going over 4 big major events in today's video. So to start off with, we'll be talking about the severe weather threat that occurred over western Dixie Alley this past Wednesday. And then we'll get into a severe weather threat that's looking pretty gnarly for next week. And then there's a big what could turn out to be a big snowstorm across the Carolinas. If we get enough cold air to come and stay in place, it could turn out to be pretty big across the Carolinas. And then the end off today's video, we'll be talking about the Florida weather outlook. So let's go ahead and start to get into the swing of things. So as you guys can see here on the right side of the screen, as you guys can see here, this is the Storms Prediction Center weather map for the categorical outlook. This one is for the tornado outlook for back on Wednesday. As you guys can see here, we have an enhanced risk with significant tornado threat over western Mississippi into Louisiana and into extreme southeastern Arkansas. As of right now, we don't have that many tornado threats. We only have 11, but the reason why the Storms Prediction Center decided to upgrade Wednesday to an enhanced risk and then a significant tornado threat was because of the day of the storm when the HRRR came out that morning. It showed the threat for multiple discrete and renegade supercells posing that threat for significant tornadoes, and we'll get onto that as we go forward. And let's continue. So to start off with the tornado reports, the red dots, we did have 3 confirmed tornadoes over Louisiana, and then 8 of those tornadoes did occur in southern Mississippi, along that I-55 corridor there between Jackson, Mississippi and the Louisiana-Mississippi state line. And from what I've heard, they were all weak or in tornadoes, but more information will come out, so stay tuned for more information from us. And then we'll go over to wind reports in the blue. We did have 33 wind reports reaching all the way from extreme western Mississippi along the Texas-Louisiana state border, going all the way up to southern Illinois there. And then we did have 1 hail threat across central Texas there. This hail threat with the storm was not that big, so let's continue to go into the swing of things. So to get us started here, as you guys can see here, I highlighted area with a chart. This is warm, moist air coming off of the Gulf of Mexico into this yellow highlighted region. As you guys can see here, this is as of 9 o'clock on the day before the event, actually, and it was already showing scattered supercells over southern Mississippi, right where the target area was and stuff, to get the most likely chance for tornadoes. And as that warm, moist air rise north into that yellow highlighted region, was bringing in the warm, moist air to help fuel those storms. And as you guys can see here, we have a bunch of rain showers popped up across the area that did turn into thunderstorms. And as you can see here, we already have a cell developed along I-55 about right there and stuff. So let's continue on. So by now we're at noon, about lunchtime the day before the event, and by now the warm, moist air is in place, and we'll start to get scattered supercell development. So as you guys can see here in this green polygon here, we have a bunch of little scattered weaker end supercells. Really not much yet in the way of thunderstorms, but something definitely that they watch to keep the eye on as they keyed in their forecast that rapid intensification was likely. And the moisture was about upper 60s to 70 degrees that day. So now we're at 5 o'clock, so we're in the evening now. And as you guys can see, those scattered, weaker, discrete supercells that really didn't turn into anything really are now across eastern to central western Alabama into northeastern central Mississippi. Those storms didn't really turn out to anything. They didn't really pose any threat. But what we got circled here in the blue area are stronger cells developing into a broken line of supercells, what they call QLCS, which stands for quasi-linear convective system. So that's basically a line of supercells with rotating thunderstorms is basically what that is. And as you guys can see, we have a bunch of strong supercells in that area that did go on to pose a tornado, as we did have those 3 tornado reports that day. So as of right now, we're at 7 p.m. Wednesday evening, Tuesday evening now, my bad, the day before the event. So as we can see in this like greenish, bluish color area, we have multiple strong, discrete supercells across the area. And what really caught my attention was this particular cell right here in northeastern Mississippi, as it kind of has that like comma lima bean shape and stuff. Basically, what that indicates that it's rotating and it is a tornado threat. And then, as you guys can see, we have a couple more of those, like that storm right there in northeastern Louisiana there, and then a bunch of those storms down here. And now we're at midnight, the day of the event, 12 o'clock Wednesday morning. This is going out. This is 24 hours before this happened, but this is just to show in advance what the system would look like when it is developing. As you guys can see here, this blue line indicates that we have a cold front, and then the cold air coming in behind it. This time it was not a dry line. The actual dry line was back across Texas, because we still had somewhat moist air behind the cold front, but the cold front came through with the cold air, and our dry air was still back across central Texas actually. So that's why with this event it was a cold front, not a dry line we see in the spring and fall time. But as you guys can see, our quasi-linear convective system has developed now, with a bunch of these individual supercells that have formed into a line of thunderstorms now, especially down across here in eastern Louisiana, just to the northeast of, to the northwest of New Orleans. Now we're at 5 p.m. the day of the event. This is the threat region, really this is the area that we were watching the whole time, and this is the area that really got upgraded to the 10% significant tornado threat. As you can see, because we have all those supercells that developed when that warm, moist air came in, like it was shown the day before. So as you guys can see, it really stick to the pattern and really didn't really change that much other than the intensification. This is why I really truly believe why we got upgraded to 10% significant tornado threat, because we had all these supercells between New Orleans and western Louisiana there. So let's continue on. So now let's talk about, this is the Storms Prediction Center outlook for the 15th of, which is about on Wednesday. So as you guys can see here, we do have that slight risk that's already been placed for a big swath of Dixie Alley. They're going all the way from the Tennessee-Kentucky borderline all the way back down to our threat region from last week again. And the reason why that is because we have a medium range models exhibit notable spread in the evolution of a subsequent upstream mid-level trough forecast to move into the central states and eventually Great Lakes. However, more consistency and agreement is becoming evident in the Euro and Canadian model operational runs, and the Euro symbol being in the GEFS symbol with the operational GFS. The outlier factor seemingly warranting an introduction of a 15% risk, severe probabilities including the strength of model forecast storm system, and ample time for applicable modification of the air mass over the Gulf and Gulf Coast states. So basically what that means is we're going to have a big upper level trough come out from across Colorado here, and it's going to swing down with that jet stream, and we're going to have wind shear about 60 to 70 knots across this area, along with 60 to 70 degree dew points, along with a bunch of other factors bringing a risk for a big time tornado threat possibly. And then as you guys can see, now we're on the 16th of next week, next Thursday I believe that is. And as you guys can see here, it's moved eastward now, ranging from eastern central Tennessee down to the Florida Panhandle actually. This is something that we need to watch for 1 week from today, as this could, if this holds its strength together, this could possibly impact us here in Florida, depending on what the track this thing takes. And it ranges all the way back into eastern Mississippi across the threat region from last week still. So now, let's go ahead and talk about our snowstorm system for next week. Well, actually not next week, my bad, take that back, for actually this weekend actually. So as you guys can see here, big time snow event regardless of this track of this system. Right now, we'll see later, and so the low system tracks down towards the coast of South Carolina as of right now, but I'm talking big time snow event in the mountains in Appalachian and Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, where snow totals could range all the way from 8 to 10, even 10 plus inches of snow in a higher elevation. And as you guys can see here, extends all the way down into northeastern Georgia there, down towards the Atlanta metro and into the upstate South Carolina, and then back up towards the Charlotte metro area. So this is something that all folks need to be on alert and watch for, especially you folks across the northern terrain of North Carolina, as I'm talking big time snowstorm. And if we can get enough cold air to come in place, we could see these snow totals start to shift southward with still a big time snowstorm in the mountains. But if we get a snow event in the upstate, that would be their first measurable snowfall of this winter, and that would bring higher totals, especially across the I-85 corridor here. I-85 is a major interstate that runs from Montgomery, Alabama, all the way up to Richmond, Virginia. So major interstate here, especially as it goes through Greenville and Spartanburg area. And now, this is our system, guys. This is as of about 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. And so as you guys can see, we have that snow across the terrain in the blue there across the mountains. And as you can see, that snow is trying to come a little bit southward into the upstate South Carolina there. And then our low pressure system is offshore of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And if we can get some of that, if we can get this track to shift a little bit differently up there this way, we get that cold air to come down, we could be talking about a snowstorm for the upstate South Carolina as well. And as you can see here, this is the GFS snow forecast. And so as you guys can see here, they're saying about maybe 2 to 4 inches for Spartanburg County right there, and then maybe about a half an inch to an inch, maybe an inch and a half if you're lucky across Greenville County there, and then back into the Atlanta metro into northeastern Georgia there, and then talking about anywhere from 6+ inches up the mountains and up into Virginia, giving about DC about an inch of snow as well maybe. And I know you guys really can't see this that well because it's blurry as heck, but I'm going to break this down for y'all. So, right here is South Carolina. I can make that out pretty good. That's about Greenville County where my finger is right here. And this is North Carolina up here. This is Georgia and Tennessee. That blue color shade over western North Carolina there, and this is Asheville right here, Buncombe County, North Carolina, is underneath a winter storm watch through the remainder of the weekend into early next week. For
Mr. Evans, please come to the front office within the next 2 minutes. Thank you.
Saying that snow is forecast to be measurable snowfall. And then as you guys can see here in this tan shaded area, that's a special weather statement for saying that any accumulations up to 2 inches is possible across northeastern Georgia. I would not be surprised if the mountains of Georgia got upgraded to winter weather advisory, and we got some sort of alert for the upstate South Carolina too, if we can get that cold air to come down. Alright, excuse the interruption earlier on the intercom from Mr. Evans, but we're back now. So, as I was talking about, a possible winter weather advisory could be issued for Georgia into South Carolina, even into the Charlotte metro behind me here. If we do get a more measurable snowfall, anywhere below 2 inches, probably they would give us a winter weather advisory. And if we get enough cold air to come in, I'm talking about even a winter storm warning possibly, but that will most likely happen across the mountains of North Carolina. So let's get into the Florida weather outlook now. So to start on the left side of the screen here, as you guys can see, we have multiple strong thunderstorms offshore of Tampa here, about maybe 50 to 100 plus miles offshore. But as of 5 o'clock tonight, actually, so I'm talking current weather right now. So afternoon, so I know it's going to sound weird because we're in February and we get afternoon sea breezes in the summer, but we're already starting to get afternoon sea breezes again. So as you guys can probably see, if some of you guys live in Polk County, you got a heavy thunderstorm last night, or if you live in Hillsborough County, etc., anywhere around the bay, you probably saw the towering thunderstorms that went off towards the east last night. And as you guys can see here, at 5 o'clock tonight, we're going to be dealing with the same situation with the sea breeze boundary to develop along Lake Okeechobee up through Polk County, going northeastward off of Jacksonville. So afternoon sea breeze, I don't expect anything to be severe tonight, but definitely strong winds and stuff. But as you guys can see over here, here comes our main system for tomorrow, bringing severe weather. We do have a slight risk, which we will get into, across northern Tampa Bay, across Citrus and Hernando County up here, and Homosassa Springs northbound, but we'll get into that later. So this is as of 3 p.m. tomorrow. Now, as you guys can see here, we have that center low pressure across northeastern Florida Panhandle there, along with our cold front coming in, which is going to bring in cold air behind it because it's a cold front, and that's what they do. And as you guys can see here, we still have some strong cells offshore posing a tornado threat and wind threat for tomorrow. And now we get into the SPC outlook for tomorrow. So as you guys can see down here, we do have a slight risk, as I was talking about, in the Tampa Bay region is underneath the marginal risk. If we keep on going, I can explain what that slight risk will mean. So as you guys can see here, we do have that slight risk for tornadoes across northern Florida tomorrow, and to Citrus and Hernando County, ranging that far south into the Tampa Bay metro is up through Orlando along I-4 is in that 2% risk, which would be a marginal risk, by the way. And then we get into the wind threat for tomorrow, and that's the same thing, saying that we have a slight risk for wind in the yellow, and then the marginal risk in the brown there. And now, last but not least, let's talk about what the forecast will look like over the next 10 days. So as you guys can see, on Sunday, it's going to be quite windy, with winds being west out of the 20, and with a high temperature of 62 and a low of 46. Fortunately, the water will be extremely cold because the cold front came through, so anybody who's interested in surfing, the water is going to definitely be in the 50s probably on Sunday because of that cold front. So even though we will have great surf, but that's not the main focus of this forecast. And as you guys can see, our rain chance is next Friday with 52% chance with AM showers, which we could even see thunderstorms from that cold front coming through next week. And then tomorrow, what we're talking about, we have a 57% chance for afternoon thunderstorms. So everybody, thank you for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay tuned for more updates. Unfortunately, next Friday we have off from school, so we will not have an update next Friday. But stay tuned for our forecast for the following Friday on the 24th with another weather video to recap whatever the weather is happening then. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to never stop chasing.